Hi everyone, Happy New Year! Today I will be re-sleeving my entire Stray Kids collection, and I will also be discussing why I switched from one brand to another and sort of why I'm completely reorganizing my collection, because this is and was a huge decision for me. And I also want to make it into a little bit more of a chat with me. During the sleeping part, I will be discussing the books and shows that I want to watch this year. So yes, I hope you all enjoy and stay with me for this video. First, discussing why I completely changed the way that I am storing this collection. I had been storing Stray Kids in Ultra Pro pages and Dragon Shield sleeves, and I did enjoy that at some point. It was a decision I made to use those products when I first started collecting and researching what a lot of people use, and that was just sort of what people recommended. And I will say those were very, very great products. That being said, I think I got very burnt out and didn't really like the way that my collection looked, and so it kind of made collecting Stray Kids into a chore, because even though a lot of people buy their albums and they're typically easy to collect, they have been starting to get a lot more photo cards, like one photo card per album, but there's 16 photo cards, or they have versions that don't really make sense, like the letter version, which only has one photo card and like some postcards. Although they're easy and cheaper to collect, they also, as an OTA collector, do become a little bit difficult, and it just doesn't feel good when all these versions aren't even very unique as well, especially compared to other JYP groups. Stray Kids don't really get that sort of creativeness with their packaging and their photo cards. It's all very much the same. That being said, I still buy the albums and I still love the music, but it got to be a little bit much. So on top of that, I just really wasn't happy with, again, how my collection looked. I decided to play around with different ways of collecting. So for my idol collection, which is a collection that I've really grown in this past year, I bought Meow Cafe supplies and started using Slim Fit. And I really, really enjoyed how the Slim Fit looked in the 9 pocket pages, and how the cards all looked, and how there's like not as much like space in between the cards as it is with standard size. Comparing the 3, so I have this card in a Dragon Shield sleeve still, so there's a lot of room in between the card. And because I collect OTA, I don't double sleeve my Stray Kids cards, even though I'm going to start double sleeving some rarer cards and some cards that I just want to keep protected, such as these like Barnes & Noble cards. I don't really want them to get as damaged, and they're a lot harder to find after the fact, so I am double sleeving these. But these sleeves are the Slim Fit purple sleeves. That is what this would look like. So this is a Sing1 card, not with the purple sleeve, but just the blue outer sleeve for Slim Fit. And even though there's some room, there's not as much compared to this. And in the pages, it just looks so nice to have all the cards kind of closer together without as much room. So I did try it out with some supplies that I already had from my idol collection, from my Stray Kids collection. This is the OTA fan kit set, and you can just see that there's not that much room in between the card and the sleeve, and it just looks so nice. And this is how it looks when you use all 9 pockets. So these are my Chan Pops that I could not part with. I just think it looks very, very nice. And as I mentioned, I'm double sleeving some cards that I think I want extra protection for. So this is what a double sleeve looks like, and this is a single sleeve. I really thought about it, and I really contemplated if I wanted to do this, because it is a quite expensive change, and I decided I do. I also decided to downsize my Stray Kids collection, and that is because I used to be very excited with the Pobs, and then they did get a little boring, and I thought that I wouldn't think that, because they did start giving us different outfits with our Pobs during Rockstar era and 5-star era. They gave us the same outfit for like 5 different stores, and it was just like, why? And then for 8, they did start giving us different outfits, but there was just so many pops, so many versions, so many things happening. It just felt like a lot to collect, and I typically prioritize collecting OT8 pop sets rather than a specific member. I didn't feel joy in that anymore, and so I decided to downsize my Stray Kids pop collection, but expand my pop collection for specific members. So I have some sales going on for like members that I'm not going to focus on collecting for pods. I still will get some OT8 sets, but I definitely want to expand my pop collection for certain members. And those members are, well, mostly Jisung, some Lino, and then obviously I kept a lot of Chan just because his cards were so cute. And I think they look so good in a 9 pocket, at least the ones that I have. That is sort of my thought process. Again, this was very thought out for me, and I'm just very excited to reorganize, rehome, and just be a little bit more creative with my collection again. I'm super, super excited to sleeve all these because it is stressing me out to have them just on my desk. Like, I just have cards everywhere right now. For the sleeving portion of this, I have been wanting to use this channel to discuss other things besides K-pop. I think this would be a perfect opportunity too. So if you want to stay for a sleeving session with me, I will be discussing the books I want to read in the new year, the shows I want to watch, and the things that I've been currently watching, and maybe music, and just discuss like a bunch of different media and stuff that I've been consuming and what I'm excited for. So it's definitely going to be chatty. So if you want to stay for that, I will do some timestamps to tell you what I'm talking about at that time. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy, and yeah, let's get sleeving. So let's do this. So I do have a list of things I want to discuss, and the first thing I want to discuss are the books that I want to read this year. So I have been in a reading slump for, I would say, like a year now. I used to read a lot in middle school and high school and read all the classics, Twilight, Hunger Games, all the dystopian trilogies that you can think of. And when I got into university, I stopped reading like casually just because university was so busy. I just prioritized other things, but with COVID, I started reading again because everyone had so much time during COVID. I think in 2020, I read 24 books, which is not a lot compared to like a lot of book people. They will read like upwards of 50 books, but 24 was good for me. I might have read like maybe more, maybe 26, I can't remember. I really, really enjoy reading. My favorite genre to read is fantasy, and it has been my favorite genre for for quite some time now. I have decided that I really, really want to get on it when it comes to finishing things that I've started in terms of reading. So the first thing is finishing the Harry Potter series. So I have deep lore with Harry Potter and reading the series. I have read the first 4 books since middle school. I think like 4 or 5 times. And the reason is I always get stuck on the 5th book. I will insert a clip of what my books look like. These were hand-me-downs from my mom, but I always binge read the first 4 books because every single time I'm like, I want to read this series. And the first 4 books are so good. I love the 3rd book, still my favorite book. Granted, still have not read the 6th and 7th, but I love the 3rd book. I read the first 4 books so many times. And every single time I get to the 5th book, I get burnt out. And I think the 5th book is a very transitional book for the series. It gets a lot darker. A lot of things start like moving into place. It's just a little bit different. It's definitely a vibe switch. This year, I want to finally finish the Stam series. I am confident in the first 4 books. I know what happens. I know everything. And the reason I kept on rereading it is because, oh, let me reread it to like jog my memory. And then again, I get so into it, and then it's so fun, and then I get burnt out. So this year I want to finish the 5th, 6th, and 7th book, and finally rewatch the 5th, 6th, and 7th movie, because this is how long it's been. During COVID, again, reread the first 4 books, and I was like, Sierra, you cannot binge watch these movies until you finish the series. I gave myself like grace because I watched the first 4 movies again, which they're always playing during Christmas time. I watched the first 4 movies and I was like, okay, I've reread these books, but you cannot watch the 5th, 6th, and 7th one until you finish those books. And I have not watched those movies, at least the 7th one, since I went to the premiere of it, like the midnight premiere of it, when I don't even know, I was probably in 6th grade or something. I can't even remember. I've not watched it since. So that is the first thing that I want to read very soon. Like, not even, like, I'm not even saying this for like the entire year. Like, I want to finish that this month. Have I read a single page this year? And it's January 7th. No, I haven't read a single page of anything this year, but I have been watching a very good show, which I will talk about later. Second thing I want to finish is What the River Knows and Where the Library Hides, which is a duology by Isabel Ibanez. And I read What the River Knows last year. It was actually a book that I finished and I loved it. And then Where the River Hides just came out this year. So I wanted to reread the first one. The first one I actually borrowed from the library. I had never heard of it. I, on a whim, just really like the synopsis on the back. So hopefully I will finish that this year. I just haven't gotten to the reread too much. Again, reading slump. And then the next thing on my list is The Apothecary Diaries. The Apothecary Diaries is a show that I started last year. Binge watched the first season. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I'm so excited for the second season. I've heard about The Apothecary Diaries for so long, and I knew that it would be a show like just up my alley, and it was. I love all the characters so much, and I started reading. So I started researching like the manga, how far away the first season is from like what's been released for the manga, and then I looked up the light novel, and the light novel has like so many volumes out, which means like so much content, and the manga isn't even like near how much content there is for the light novel. So I actually started reading the light novel. I read the first volume pretty quickly, and then I got to the second volume, and then I just got a little burnt out. I would read it on my commute on my phone, and I don't like reading on my phone, but they had it on Libby, which is like a library app, and it was available. So the light novels are quite expensive, and there's like 14 out, but like only 4 are released like on paper. They're still like pre-order for the actual physical release, but they're out on ebook. I think I want to collect this series, the light novel that is, because the art on the light novel is so beautiful. And I really, really love the story, and I really want to see where it goes. I want to read more of this world and these characters and see where it goes. So yeah, I think it's something that I want to purchase physically so that I could read physically. I just don't really enjoy reading on my phone, and I don't have like an e-reader. That is something I want to revisit. I don't know if I'll revisit that very soon, but definitely like in the spring, or if I start reading again, like in the winter. And then I also want to read the manga, but I think that is something that I would take out from the library, not something that I necessarily want to collect. And then the next thing I want to read are R.F. Kuang's books Yellowface and Babel. I read The Poppy War 2020 to 2021, I believe. That is quite literally like one of my favorite series. Rin has been I feel like, don't look into this too much, that the fact that Rin is my lock screen and has been my lock screen for years at this point. I just really love the fan art that I found of Rin. That book is crazy. Please look up trigger warnings for that book though, if you ever are interested to read it. I want to read R.F. Kuang's other books. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I have Yellowface borrowed from my friend. Again, reading slump. I read the first few chapters, but I just haven't gotten to it. And then Babel as well. That's one I want to buy physically because there's so many annotations in Babel at the bottom of the pages, and I want to read these by the time her new book comes out, and I'm so excited for that book. The synopsis of that one interests me so much, but I definitely want to read her other works that I have not read yet. Another thing on my list is A Sign of Affection. I have read the first 5 volumes, and I am collecting this series. I really, really love the manga, and it's one of my favorite mangas, even though I'm very behind on it. And I want to revisit that very soon. I feel like that's a perfect winter, spring read. There is an anime for it now, so I also want to watch the anime, but I want to read up to where the anime leaves off first before I watch the anime. And then there's just looking at my bookshelves. I mean, that was all that I initially listed on books I want to read, But looking at my bookshelves, I definitely want to revisit Moriarty the Patriot. For manga, I want to revisit Yen with the Dawn. I want to revisit the, what is that series? It's Stephanie Garber's series with Jack. Once Upon a Broken Heart. I read the first 2 books of that series, and then the third one wasn't out yet when I got to the third one. So I definitely want to reread the first 2 books. I think I kind of rushed them because I don't know, I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I did Caraval, but I think I just need to not rush. I would love, oh my gosh, I would love to revisit Percy Jackson. That is like one of the first books that got me into reading, and wow, he's just released so much more. I read all the way up to, the one with the Lost Hero. I read all of them. When I stopped, I think I was getting into high school, or I was continuing while I was in high school. He wrote like the Apollo Trials. More is coming out, so I want to reread everything. I would love to start a like huge fantasy series like Robin Hobb. Oh my gosh, that would be a big thing. I would love to read One Piece as well. I contemplate whether or not I want to read One Piece or watch One Piece, but that's also something. I would love to revisit Vinland Saga. I did sell off my copies because collecting that series is very expensive. But I loved what I read for that series. I have not watched the anime for that yet. As I mentioned, I want to start talking about these things more frequently and just maybe make videos just based off books or what I've read or what I want to read. So this is just a general idea. Maybe I'll make videos more structured on this. If there's anything that you want to read this year, let me know, or any books that you recommend, do let me know. Even webtoons too. I read a few great webtoons. I'm currently reading Serena, and I really, really enjoy it. I'm almost up to date, I think. I checked the other day, and I think one of the seasons just finished. So there's only so many chapters I need to read to be up to date. I think that's the only series that I'm really, really reading right now. I started a few, but I think I started too much at one point, and then I got kind of confused which series was for what. Like what plot was for which series and what the characters, like what was happening, because yeah, I think I read up to a certain season and then totally forgot everything. Shows I want to watch. Wow. I'm only going through one stack and I'm already losing like, I have so much to sleeve. It's like really hitting me because I'm like, now we're moving on to shows, but now I've only used one pack. Oh my gosh. And I know I have at least 600 photo cards. Maybe. I don't know. So for shows I want to watch, I am currently watching The Dragon Prince on Netflix. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I actually started it, I think during COVID time, but only 3 seasons were out, or it was like 2 seasons were out, but the third was like coming out as I was watching it, and then I just forgot about it. Decided to start it again because I remember just having so much fun watching it, and it's such a great series. There's now 7 seasons. I'm currently on the 6th, and I'm so afraid to look up if there are more seasons after the 7th, if it's still ongoing, because I really don't want spoilers. I am really enjoying it. It's really funny. There's great plot, great thought out characters. It gets quite dark, I will say, in the like later seasons, and just darker themes, and it just gets quite dark. The other thing I want to watch is, oh my gosh, this is like so funny. So I rewatched How to Train Your Dragon, the first one, during the holidays this year, and I love that movie. I've always loved that movie, but I realized like I hadn't watched the most recent ones. I want to rewatch all that there is for that series because I think they're making a live action. The other thing I want to watch very soon is Family by Choice, which is a K-drama, and I am currently watching it, and I think everything is out, but I just took a break from it because I'm consumed by The Dragon Prince right now, but I do want to finish it. I think I only have a few more episodes left, and I love that series so much. Like, the found family trope really gets me. I also want to watch Squid Games, the 2nd season, because at this point, like, I'm getting spoilers left and right, so I just need to finish it. Next thing, I was just thinking as I was talking about the K-drama, I do want to finish Moving. I started it, really liked it, and then again, I just kind of get burnt out a little bit. I don't know. Like I said, I watch YouTube a lot, and so shows, like, if I'm really tired, especially with like reading captions, I will just choose not to, because it really bugs me when I like am not super focused, but sometimes I'm too tired to be super focused. So, which is why I watch a lot of YouTube, because I can just like put it in the background and like be totally fine with not seeing everything on the screen. But when it comes to shows and movies, my brain will not allow me to do that. So when I'm watching a show or movie, like, I'm locked in. I can't multitask at all. What else? I really want to catch up on my Skiz content. I have not been watching the Skiz codes for the past, oh god, like year and a half. I need to catch up on Skiz Talker, the Skiz Behind, especially with the behind the scenes of their music videos for Hop. Like, I really want to watch those. And then I think that's pretty much all I want to discuss. So I might do a lot more of this off camera. But I think the last thing I want to discuss is recent music. And that's just because I've started listening to Triple S. And, you know, I knew that their music was good, especially, I think I remember their debut, the 4 of the girls, or maybe it was 5 girls. I don't know their, like, units or anything like that. But Girls Never Die was so good. And then I just was like, you know what? Let's listen to their discographies. And so finally I put on like the This Is Triple S on shuffle when I was running some errands a few days ago, and I was like, damn, all of these are so good. So I don't even want to look at collecting them because they do something different with their photo cards, and I don't even think they have physical albums, so I just am not even gonna think about that. I'm not even gonna think about that. I will try to look into like their units and stuff and trying to get to know the girls and sort of understand like what the units are. But collecting wise, I'm not sure, because 1 out of 24 is kind of crazy. What else? Oh, Minnie. So today is the 7th, and Minnie released her music video for Blind Eyes Red. So good. Oh my gosh, I am so excited for this solo. Or this past year, I've really enjoyed collecting Idol, and I don't collect OT5. I love all the members, and collecting their solos is just a way for me to like enjoy collecting the other members that I don't collect for like OT5 releases. So I collect Soyeon and Shuhwa, but I collected a little bit of Oogie solo. I haven't collected Mion because her stuff is kind of expensive resale, but I definitely want to collect Minnie, and her concept is so gorgeous. Like, already the Blind Eyes Red concept and the production for it is just amazing. I'm very excited to hear her solo music. I love Oogie's solo album, Red Rover, like I think was in my top 5 songs this year. I'll definitely be buying one of each version. I think I will try to collect her in full this time around. I think it's just like a better time to do that. I am super, super excited to post more, and hopefully I do post more. I hope you all enjoy. Let me know what you're looking forward to this year in terms of music, reading, watching. If you've like read or watched any of the shows I mentioned, no spoilers, please. I'll talk to you later. Bye.